This Three Beards Media podcast may contain mature themes, and if you're not down with that, we got 3 words for you. Like the podcast. Nailed it!
Drop it.
Welcome back to another edition of the Ball Don't Lie podcast. We are in season 4, episode 7, week 7 of the NFL season. As always, we are proud to be a part of the Three Beards Media Group and thankful again to our sponsors at Revelton Distilling Company. Smule, welcome back, buddy.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
It wasn't our greatest week. We had our worst circuit week by far.
Yeah, worst circuit.
We had a couple bad beats in there on that.
We did.
The Patriots safety was gross.
That was really gross.
Yeah, Patriots, we had them +3. They're down 2 super late. Take a safety, I think, with under 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Just go 4 and out, and Raiders knee on it, and they
game
cover.
Over. Right.
Yeah, game over. So that one was dirty, but we did have our first kind of bad week there. So as always, we say we do not run from our records on this show. Last week, I went 2-2-1 in college football, 1-3-1 in the NFL. You went 3-3 in college, 2-4 in the NFL, and I'm still an abysmal 10-17-1. Somehow 2-2-1 upped my record in college. That was probably my best week. And you're at 20-17 in college, and I'm 16-14. Fell down to 16-14-1 in the NFL. You're still at 20-15-1 there, and we are at 16-14 in Circa. So after a really, really hot start there, we're just we're one week away from getting right back on course. It's a long year. So as we know, the goal is to try to get to that 60% mark, and we're a week away from getting there.
Right.
Want to start here before we get into college football. Our appetizer menu, as we call it. It is Nick Farr's birthday today.
That's right. I texted him today.
So he doesn't know this yet, but I bought him a present, and he hits the ball about as far as anybody I know, hit the golf ball, and he is probably the worst putter I know. So I bought him a left-handed putter because it can't get any worse. So if he's watching this, he'll know before he gets here on Monday, but he has a left-handed putter coming in the mail. And his lock, I asked him what his lock today was. He's locking Nebraska at -10.5.
Wow.
So I was like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" But that's Nick his lock. Happy birthday, buddy! So let's jump into college football.
All right. Yeah. Well, we'll keep it there.
All right.
I'm with him.
Oh no, you're with him.
I'm with him.
I thought about going with him just to show some solidarity, but.
Yeah,
I'm also with him. It was borderline making my card or not. I'd already bet it. I'm taking them too. This is a get right game for them. I don't think Northwestern's any good, so that's hilarious that he locked it. It's on both our cards.
Yep, it is. Yep, I love this game as well. So
that's funny. Nebraska minus. Look, Northwestern's just not any good. I think Nebraska is going to put the ball all day on them. I really do. And I think their defense is good enough to they might not score 10 points.
No.
So I think if they get to 21 points, Nebraska, and I think they will, it's going to be an easy cover.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's fun.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I was going to do it too because I was going to make it or not, and that just reaffirmed it. So that's a 3-way play there.
Yeah, love it. Good.
Well, I'll keep it local there, and I'll go with – I have 2 plays that I'm making my card in the Iowa game. 2 plays.
Oh, boy.
Minnesota hasn't won at Iowa since 99. something like that. It's like 10 or 11 in a row.
I mean, Flex never beat him.
Fleck, it's before him though. It's a
Yeah,
long.
well before. Yeah, well before.
It's like 20 some years is this streak. I don't see it ending now. Iowa's offense is putrid. Minnesota's is worse. And I'm going with the defense here. I'm taking Iowa minus 3.5 is making my card.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that freshman running back's even playing for Minnesota. Minnesota cannot throw the football. Like they physically cannot throw the football.
I mean, neither team can.
So no, they cannot. I have Iowa minus 3.5 on my card, but I also have Minnesota team under 14 points making my card.
All right.
This is the lowest team total for a game in college football history, I think, since they've tracked it, right?
Yeah.
It got down to 30 at some point. I don't know if it broke it. They thought a chance to go to 29.5 because people were still betting it.
Yeah.
If this gets under 30 points before kick, that's just nuts, man. It's nuts.
I mean, it's if nothing else says that the HC and OC should be gone, this total probably screams it more than any. I mean, that's an embarrassment at this point.
What happens when they win and cover this again? They cover this spread,
but they're going to
7-1.
Yeah, they're going. I mean, the only thing I'm staying away from the point spread is it smells so bad. It seems so easy.
It does. Nothing's easy with Iowa, but again, like I've come to expect the defensive or a special teams touchdown. Like I just have come to expect it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
I was hoping Coward would bring back the fake ID just to get people fired up again. I mean, it's what they are, though, right? Like, if you actually believe they're a top 25 football team, then you don't watch anything. Then you don't they are. It's a product of the schedule. Granted, they're beating the teams they should. No, I mean, power to them, but they're not good. Point blank. When you go to the Big Ten title game and you're a 20-point underdog, and it's over within 20 minutes.
I mean, it'll be if it's whoever it is representing the West. Like, doesn't matter if it's Iowa or not. That spread against Michigan, I think it's going to be Michigan. It's going to be 24 points or higher.
Yeah, so I mean, so it's like, oh, really? How did you really have a good year? I mean, and Iowa fans will spin it like they did because they care about Minnesota, Northwestern, Nebraska. Like those three mean so much to the program. I'm like, okay, all right.
I'll let you put some plays in here, and that's 3 of them for me so far.
Okay, you got it. Speaking of the big games, I'll keep it Big Ten. The biggest game of the week, I'm gonna lay it with the Buckeyes minus. I got 4.5. I think it's actually up. It might be to 5 now.
It's at 4.5, and I'm opposing you here.
Okay, you're opposite. All right.
Yep.
Main reason why I think Penn State's first off, I don't trust Franklin in a big game.
There's my only holdback is that.
Okay. And then second, I think all the defensive numbers are extremely inflated. And I'll just read you the opponents: UMass, Northwestern, Iowa, Illinois, Delaware, West Virginia. Those offenses are hot garbage.
It's not good.
And so I just think the defensive, like everyone talks about, is like, I don't know how much, like, are they good? Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they're bad, but are they as good as what it seems? I'm going to say probably not.
No, and look, this is I just personally don't think Ohio State's that good.
Sure, and I get that too.
And so, like, I just think that this is an elimination game. Yeah, the line is at 5 and 5.5 some places, so you want to settle at 5.
5, I'm cool with. Yeah.
Let's go with 5 there. James Franklin in a big matchup is my only holdback in this. As a really good point with that. I just truly think that this is maybe Ryan Day's worst team since he's been there.
I would agree with that. I think it is. I think you're right.
I don't think that close game with Notre Dame, I think it was too – I don't think those are 2 top 10 football teams in the nation. Now, granted, there's not a bunch of clear-cut teams this year. It'd be a great year to have the 12-team playoff this year. You could go in there with 12 teams going, I don't know who's going to win it.
Awesome year.
It'd be awesome here to have it. We're going to mess with that. But
yep.
I just think that this is too many points in it. I think it's going to be a closer football game. And you could be completely right because, traditionally Franklin has not done well in these spots.
No.
It's on the road. It's at the Horseshoe. So I get your play on this, but we will be going off on this. I'm at Penn State.
All right. I'll continue here. I got this. We might be opposite on this one. I'm taking Central Florida plus 17.5 at Oklahoma. Look, Oklahoma's covered every single game this year. They've looked good. They're darlings. I don't believe now they need style points, anymore. Central Florida's off 2 losses. They're off the bye week, though. I like it. Oklahoma's off the bye week also, but sometimes the bye weeks can work opposite of people, right? When you're kind of rolling, you just want to keep going. So, I don't know. I'll take the point. It just feels like a big, big number here.
I'll cheer for you here. I don't have a whole lot of thought on this, so okay. I'll cheer for you on that one.
All right.
What else you got for me?
Okay. This one's going to shock you. This one is going to surprise. I'm laying it with Alabama -8. I never do this, but this might be my favorite play on the card. It's
at 9, and we're going to pose each other again. So let's meet in the middle at 8.5. We're against each other again on this, so we'll settle at 8.5 here.
Okay, I think I've been against Alabama this year, but
this is why I'm shocked. I thought there's a really good chance you're going to be on my side. I was like, well, we'll do it this play.
I think the revenge factor from last year plays a factor here. So Tennessee did essentially eliminate Bama from any playoff hopes last year.
They did.
And I just, as much as I don't like Alabama and think they're overrated, I think Tennessee might be just as overrated. And I can't get that Florida game out of my head. So
if Tennessee can get home without having to blitz, Bama cannot throw the football. Like this is going back to their old days when they used to just kill you on defense. But their defense isn't. But this isn't a 2010 Bama defensive squad though either. I just don't think this Alabama team. That's my reasoning on this is I don't think they should be this big a favorite against anybody. I'm not the biggest believer in Tennessee either. I think the SEC is really down this year.
I agree.
Georgia's they're gonna win out and get there just because they're gonna do it, but I don't feel anywhere near Georgia like I did the last 2 years with them. I think Michigan or whoever comes out of that side has a legit chance to go smack them up, or Oregon if they get out of that, or if it's going to be Washington. I still think those are maybe the top 5 teams in the nation. I think we saw a good football game between them.
I would agree. I think both of them deserve to be in it, to be honest. Unfortunately, it won't happen, but I think those, from the eye test perspective, those 2 schools are really, really good.
Yeah, well, and that was a tough push for me last week, too. I felt pretty good that Oregon was going to win out right there for a second. Right. It was, hey, look, I mean, Penix had his – there wasn't really a moment or a play that jumps out, but that was kind of like hey, whoever wins this football game between these 2 quarterbacks, as long as they, had good enough games, and they both did, probably became the front runner, and he did. I think he is the odds-on betting favorite right now for the Heisman. So,
all right, that's funny. We're against each other. Cool.
Yeah. So that's funny on that one too. I just have one play. I have 2 plays left.
Okay.
I actually have a big college card this week, which is weird. I'm taking Duke plus 14.5 at Florida State.
Right.
This is weird because I do like Florida State. I've been kind of the right side of them sometimes this year. I've been right with them more than probably not, more than the other teams. I think Duke's just kind of a pesky team. I think it's just too many points. It might have to be an ugly cover, backdoor here on this too, but I'm going to take Duke on the road.
Cool. I'm going to go South Carolina plus 7.5 at Missouri. I had Missouri last week in a winner over Kentucky. I just think here now they're like, it's a little inflated. Laying 7.5. South Carolina, it was a brutal loss to Florida last week as well. I don't know. Missouri has Georgia on deck. I feel like this is kind of a classic look-ahead spot. I don't know. Missouri laying over a touchdown, I'm just not a fan of. South Carolina's sneaky. If you recall, they had Georgia on the ropes there earlier in the season. So
they did.
We'll see.
All right, go Cox. Go Cox. Yeah. If we would have recorded yesterday, my kid ended up getting sick, so we had to push it back today. James Madison was going to make my card again. They played last night and covered again. So
I thought about you.
All you viewers out there, in Ferris Pick 5, I think I had him on that. So they are a covering machine right now. So we didn't record in time, so they did not make the command. Okay. This one is my last play, and it's another. Again, it's going against a team that I really, really like. But Washington State plus 20.5 again on the road at Oregon.
Oregon.
Like you said too, with the style, Oregon right now they do need style points. I don't think the Pac-12 is going to be able to get 2 teams in. As long as a Big Ten undefeated comes out, you know what? I shouldn't say that. With the SEC being down, maybe there is a chance that both those teams get in. How does the Pac do there? Do they still have the divisions?
They do. Yeah. So no, they still have them. So Washington, Oregon are same side. So I mean, it could still work though, because if Bama represents the West and somehow I don't think either one of we don't believe this that they can beat Georgia, but if they could,
I think for the SEC to get 2 teams this year is going to take Georgia getting beat in the title game and being undefeated, because they're still going to get in on that. Just for 2-time defending champs, I would agree with it. But Look, Oregon does need style points. I just think I watched Washington State a couple times this year. They're super hit or miss. Mm-hmm. But it's 3 touchdowns. I just like them to be able to keep this a little bit close. So I'm going to take that many points again. I have a lot of big dogs on the road, and we'll see how that works out for me.
Okay. Yeah, I got a dog here on the road. I'm taking Mississippi State plus 6.5 at Arkansas. I am more just fate. Arkansas has been very kind to me.
They've been very kind to you.
Yeah, I am fading them here. They're just here's their last 4 games in order. LSU, A&M, Ole Miss, Bama. Those are 4 like all-out efforts. They covered 3 of the 4. I think I had them in 3 of the 4. It just feels like a crazy letdown here, right? That they just the tank isn't going to be as full coming off those 4 all-out games. I don't know. I'm just it's just a situation, but I'm going to take the points from Mississippi State. I don't think Mississippi State's any good either, but I'm going to take it with them. So.
All right.
And then I got, let's see, I already mentioned, I got one more. I'm going to take Miami plus 3 at home against Clemson. Not sold on Clemson at all.
No,
I don't think they should be laying points here on the road.
This was a just miss for me. So I should really like this play.
All right. Yeah. So I think the Canes rise up. They need to get a nice little win on the resume. So
they need to do something after the letdown 2 weeks ago kind of carried over on them. So
good.
Yeah. So I think you with Miami last week too, that let you down. So all right, is that your full card?
Yep.
Cool. I think we both have 7 plays if I'm counting right here. So I'll run through those here quick. I have Penn State plus 5, Washington State plus 20.5, Tennessee plus 8.5, Duke plus 14.5, Iowa minus 3.5. The Minnesota team total under 14 points, and Nebraska minus 10.5. And for you, I also have 7 plays. Nebraska minus 10.5, Ohio State minus 5, Central Florida plus 17.5, Bama minus 8.5, South Carolina plus 7.5, Mississippi State plus 6.5, and Miami Hurricanes plus 3. All right, that'll wrap up our college appetizer menu for you. Before we jump in the NFL here, why don't we hear quick from a word from our sponsors at Revelton.
At Revelton Distilling Company, everyone has become a part of the Revelton family. From the Taylors and their daughter who helped perfect their award-winning gins, to the team who installed Lucy, our 33-foot-tall custom-made still, right down to the local farms that provide our coveted corn, and even the cows on those farms who consume our mash byproduct. Want to see the farm to flask come to life? Now you can tour Lucy and find out where we take Iowa's harvest and transform it into our finest spirits. Choose between a 45-minute tour or find out even more by scheduling a VIP behind-the-scenes tour to get the taste of the full Revelton experience. You can visit them at 1400 West Clay Street in Osceola, Iowa, or find all of Revelton's award-winning spirits at any local grocery or spirits retailer.
And we're back here, and thanks again to our sponsors at Revelton Distilling Company. This is the Ball Don't Lie podcast, brought to you by Three Beards Media. I'm Ted. He's Justin. Kind of a weak NFL, our weakest by far NFL appearance of the season happened last week. So we just need to hope that it's not run on a cooler here. Let's get it back. I liked too many games this week, which has been weird because we thought it'd been hard and they were. So maybe we can get that turned around. I have 6, maybe 7 plays. I got to decide what I'm doing on my last one here too.
I have a lot also.
All right. Well, let's just jump right into it.
You got it. All right. My first, I'm going to take the Falcons plus 2.5 on the road at Tampa.
We have our first circa play because we're in complete agreement with you here.
Okay, perfect. I just have heard too much of the talking heads and this Desmond Ridder at home, fade him on the road. It just feels like when everyone starts talking about something, go opposite. Just go opposite. Atlanta's game last week was extremely misleading against Washington too. They outgained him. It was just the 3 turnovers that was ended up being the deciding factor in that. So just a misleading final. I'm not sure what to make of this Tampa team. They're really tough to figure out right now. They looked a little bit better than expected at the beginning of the year. I just don't know what we have. This feels like it's that division game that's going to be tough. I just feel like you take the division dog.
Well, and this is where I'm at with that too. It's another spot play. Look, the Bucks they're going to be around that 7 to 9 wins this year, like most of these teams are. And for me, this just comes down to Atlanta was my pick in this division. That was my super heavy play for that. And it's another. I said, but they're going to be a spot play all year. I've been against them quite a few times this year too, and this is just a spot play. I think they're better than Tampa. And they actually been throwing the ball a little better. They've been getting like Drake London's been getting more involved in the offense. Ritter's been playing a little better. Yeah, we all know they have in Bijan and Algier at their running back. Yeah. So I just think Atlanta's a better football team. I think this should be a pick 'em. So I'll take the points to Atlanta. Absolutely.
All right, cool.
Well, we have Drew Shipley asking here about your Raiders. So we'll see on that. He asked if the Raiders were a lock. My answer to that is no, because Jimmy's not playing quarterback, and I don't know. I know they're playing the Bears, but I don't think the Raiders can ever be a lock. Not this year.
Yeah, I'll hit on it here. You can't play the Bears with Fields out. So I was going to play the Bears were going to make my card until Fields was out. And with Fields being questionable, now he's out. But I will say this, Jimmy G, I'm not sure it's a downgrade. I mean, because he leads the NFL in interceptions. So it's not like you're losing much.
No,
but the Raiders defense isn't great. Here's the one thing though, that from the Raiders are going to be very public. So that scares the crap out of me.
They're going to be super public.
But that Bears quarterback, those backups, man, we've seen it too many times. They're good for a turnover or two. And if they give you short field, you're dead in the water because they can't play from behind.
There's too much what ifs with the quarterbacks and all that around here too. It's definitely not a lock play for me on that. I'm scared of this game. I'll be staying completely away from it.
Okay. Yeah.
Look, here's maybe the game. Actually, not maybe. This is for sure the game of the week of 2 teams that kind of want to prove they're in the Super Bowl conversation. That 6, maybe 7 teams you can argue right now, and that's a team that I'm not as high on as maybe you are. I can't remember. I might have had that wrong. I'm not as high on the Ravens as a lot of people are.
No, I don't.
I've been just kind of waiting and seeing with Detroit, and man, I think they're the real deal. Not having their hammer in Montgomery obviously doesn't help at all, but I think Gibbs is back this week. And look, if you're going to give me the Lions and getting points right now, I'm going to take them. That's just probably the rule of thumb for me I think maybe even against anybody in the league. If I'm getting points to the Lions, I'm going to take it. So I'm going to take Detroit plus 3 on the road against Baltimore.
Yeah, this one probably just missed for me. If I had to play this game, I'm on board here with the Lions. The only thing that I think probably scares me, just because what I've seen, it feels like it could be a hair popular. That's the only reason why I left it off. And I'm like, I hate the popular dogs. But here's the Ravens are off that London trip. I think that's a negative too. That's a hard thing for them to come back from. And the Ravens are just not a team that you like to lay points with. I mean,
no, and they're weird for me because that offense can go out and score 7 to 10 points some weeks. And other weeks they look fine. It's just I think the Lions have answered more questions at this point than Baltimore has. So they come out and put it to Detroit here, and they answer a lot of questions with that. But I just have way more question marks with Baltimore than I do with Detroit.
I would agree.
Speaking of off London, though, I absolutely love the under in last night's football game. And I was looking like it's going to be a nice little sweat for me. And then all of a sudden, 4 straight possessions in a row became a track meet and got away from everybody. I love the Saints under total points and that. And then the Jags went nuts on it. Look, and the Saints had a chance to tie the game late. It was the Jags another win. That's what 4 or 5 in a row now. I'm not sure we learned a ton. I'm not as big on the Saints as some people are either. So I don't. The only thing is, like you said, the London thing. They were in London for 2 weeks, and then they made him play on a short week coming back. That was tough with that schedule there, and they got to be happy with that win. So we'll see there with that weak division. They got a legit chance to come out of the AFC as that 1 seed, which I know didn't look like it was going to happen to start the year, but just kind of a recap there. I have another one here, and it'd be interesting to see what I just have a feeling this is going to be on your card, but I'm not sure which way it's going to go.
Okay.
I'm starting to like the Rams more and more every week.
Okay.
And look, Pittsburgh, it's like watching the Iowa Hawkeyes. They literally look alike and they play like they are so boring and awful to watch offensively, but defensively and their special teams, they're really, really good. Yep. But I think the Rams are going to be able to move the ball on them, and I don't know if the Steelers can score at all. So I like the Rams going to be one of those weird teams that I think they're going to win 8 to 9 games. I don't know how good they are either, but they're going to show up in some spots, and I like the Rams here at home.
Okay. I have this game also.
And you're the Steelers.
And I agree.
You agree? Okay, good.
Yeah, I like here another one. I couldn't back the Steelers. Like I know the situational spot is like in favor of Pittsburgh, like Tomlin off the bye as a dog. Yeah. But this just isn't the same, right? You've alluded to that. Kenny Pickett looks like he's having some second year struggles too right now. What does scare me with the Rams though, I feel like it's a little popular too. But the main thing is like Williams is out. He's been great at running back, and he's out this week. So now they're like back to Henderson or who I mean, it's like running back by committee now this week, which I don't love. But a healthy Cup and Puka Nacua, those two guys they're legit. They're hard to cover. But I do agree with you.
I mean, look, the biggest thing here is that the Rams if they have a good enough plan to negate that pass rush, they're going to be fine. But if the Steelers are getting home, they can beat anybody. That's how good their pass rush is.
Yep.
We'll see. But I do like the Rams here in this way.
Yep. So do I. Yep. They're on mine too. I'm going to take the Giants +3 at home against the Commanders. Probably a game no one wants to watch, and I don't blame you.
No.
But I mean, I allude to like the Commanders' win last week was a little fluky at Atlanta, right? And I think the Giants are just a tad. If you can say this, they're a hair underrated. And give me a second, I know they suck, but they have losses to the Cowboys, to the Seahawks, Niners, Dolphins, and Bills, I believe, are the 5.
They're underrated if you want to consider them a 1-win football team compared to some of those others. Sure, I'll give you that.
Sure. Yeah.
And look, last year they were inflated. Those wins too. They're somewhere between that.
Yeah.
As an organization right now. They're not as good as they were last year. They're not as bad as they are this year. They're somewhere right in the middle of that.
I would agree.
What I think they are. So
I
can give you that display. Dude, I almost like Tyrod Taylor playing here instead of Daniel Jones anyway. I think he gets rid of the ball a little quicker than him. And Washington's pass defense is horrendous. I think they're giving up they're like the 30th or something like that in the league with their pass defense.
Yep,
so
they're bad.
I think they're going to move the ball.
Yep, and that was my next point too. Yeah, Washington's D's, unfortunately, they're no good.
Their pass rush used to be better too. That's they're not getting home as much there, which is weird. It's putting more pressure on that back end that just isn't that good if you're not getting home with all those guys. So I can get behind you here on this.
Okay.
I have another one I think we're going to agree on because we talked about it after last week.
Okay.
I'm going to take the 6 points because it's up to 6 now with the Chargers. I think they're going to beat the Chiefs. I think they're going to beat the Chiefs. I'm taking the spread here. I already have a bet in with them money line. Yep. It is a desperation spot for the Chargers. They lose this game. I don't know if they're making the playoffs.
No, they won't. I mean,
this is a staff absolutely coaching for their job probably this week.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, think about this, right? With the current spot that the Raiders are in, now, mind you, I'm a fan, and I don't think they're that good. They have a chance to be 4-3. If the Chargers lose this game, they now, even though they beat the Raiders head-to-head, they have a big hill to climb if they lose this game and the Raiders win at the Bears, which is realistic possibility for both. So I full on agree here. The Chargers play a lot of close games. Like I tell everybody, Herbert, you want him on your fantasy team because he's that. The guy's just a flat out loser.
He's dude. We're completely in agreement on all of this too. Like I'm like, I don't think he's even a loser as much as that. What he's just been built up to be this like all-timer guy. And it's like he's got to do something first.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, he's good. He has all the tools. He's
good.
He's
he's got every tool in the bag. But show me you're not Jay Cutler.
No, he is. That's who he is.
You're more Jay Cutler than you are Joe Burrow right now, and I'm not going to hear otherwise.
No, that's exactly who he is.
So they're making your card too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's Jay Cutler with less turnovers.
So the Chargers also making your card. 6.
Yes, they're on my card too.
Yeah, that's already 3 for Circa. It's coming a little too easy this week.
And to flip it too, on the Chiefs side, right? I think you and I both agree, right? Offensively, I still think they're trying to find it. Them trading for Mecole Hardman still tells me a lot that they're kind of desperate. They're like, okay, it's not working right now. We got to go get a guy back. They did that this week. I think that says a lot more than what the average person might want to realize. I mean,
they're playing a different style of football. It's Patrick Mahomes' biggest thing with him is it's hard for him to stay patient because he likes to push that. Well, it's not as easy to push the ball down the field when you don't have Hill. They made it work last year in some points too, but they're going to make you – I mean, the recipe's been put out there. They're going to make you win by death by 100 cuts. Then which if you're a Kelsey owner, you got to love it because he's going to have 13 catches. Why teams don't double him every time in the red zone is beyond me. Make any one of those other guys beat you on the outside. I would stack a box and double Kelsey and say make one of those guys win one-on-one.
Right.
I don't know why they don't do it more.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
But –
good point.
All right. Well, we agree there. Give me another play you got.
All right. Here's the one I flipped on, and early in the week I like the opposite, and unfortunately it's your team. I'm going to take it with the Packers.
You were so against them to start the week.
I was. And I don't like this team. I don't like the Packers.
So talk me out of putting this not on my card because. Going into this, so Jordan, as everybody knows, Jordan Walker, who's been on the show, is a huge Packers fan. And we made a bet earlier this week, too. The loser has to wear the other team's jersey and make it a profile picture for a week. So that's what's already at stake there. And which has now made me get more into the game that I've already bet Denver. And now I'm deciding to make the card or not. So tell me why I should leave them off the card here.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. So I think Jones is going to be back. It sounds like in a very limited role.
Sure.
So him and Watson, first time back. I'm putting a lot of faith in just LaFleur here off the bye with Love. I feel like the bye came at probably a good time for Green Bay. They haven't looked right offensively, granted, probably because of some of the injuries. I also, let's face it, Denver's defense, for whatever reason, has just been atrocious this year.
It's not been good.
It's been bad. And I think the Packers will just kind of just trot down there 9-10 play drives, move the ball, get points. And I think Russ will kind of do what he does and pad the stats late when it's kind of irrelevant. I don't know. I just don't think this Denver team has it. And I just wonder where you would know more on the inside part of it, but I just wonder where their heads are at, man. This wasn't what was projected at the beginning of the season.
Well, it's not good. And I don't know if you heard the Jerry Jeudy comments this week either.
I did.
How it's not on. It's hard. It's so hard for a receiver to get stuff done because the quarterback can get you ball. The offensive line's not blocking right. The eye in the sky. He basically kind of trounced on his roster there too. So I will not be shocked if either a deal's done before this week, or you see some late injury with Jeudy before he doesn't even suit up at all, or this could be Judy's last game in a Broncos uniform. And I've been saying the whole season, anyways, we're not going to give him a contract anyway. No. He puts out another 4 stinkers in a row, and that whatever value he has, which can't be great at this moment, is going to be less and less. Get your mid-round pick you can get now before he's trading 7th rounders for somebody right at the deadline. I would quit messing around with it. We've already paid Tim Patrick, who's gotten hurt 2 years in a row. And you paid Sutton. You're not going to pay Jeudy. You're going to draft somebody or do something else. So just move on from him. It's time. Okay. I wore this shirt just to piss Jordan off too, if you saw it. I was looking for it the week we had him on. I couldn't find it, so I had to wear it today. And then I'm also wearing my cousin Spencer Staley, my great uncle that he passed away this past year, found his old Arweva alumni hat. That's probably from the 90s, man. I don't know. So
that's a cool hat from the 90s, man.
Shout out Spencer.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to leave Denver off the card because at this point, give me losses anyway. What good does it do to go 4-13? Nothing. Give me 1-16.
Okay. I got one more.
All right.
I'd be curious on your take on this one. I'm gonna lay it with Seattle 7.5. I think it's I don't know. I think it's 7.5 in the contest.
It's done at 7.5. It opened at when it opened at 8.5 on the week. I think I have a small bet the other way.
And I did too.
I've softened my stance on this with the Cardinals.
Same.
So I'll cheer for you here, but I lean the other way. Okay. But I liked it earlier this week when it was at 8.5, 9.
Yeah, I did too, actually. I did too, plug in the Cardinals early. And then I started looking, I was like, because I tend to fall in love with dogs and dogs often. So I'm like,
no, you don't say.
But I was looking into it and I'm like, man, it feels like the Cardinals are kind of turning into what we thought they were going to be. They've had 3 clunkers in a row here. And I think Seattle last week was misleading, man. That box score at Cincinnati, they were 1 for 5 in the red zone. They should have won that game. And I think they're going to be full of piss and vinegar here. Coming home off the loss in a division game, I think he'll have him ready. And I know the history of this series kind of scares me because generally it doesn't really matter how good or how bad. They always play close.
Yeah. And I feel like Arizona's kind of dominated the last 5-6 years in this series, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
I could be remembering the teams wrong. There's one. It's Arizona and somebody. Arizona's dominated somebody that they shouldn't be.
Yeah. Yeah. This division's weird how that works, actually.
It's super weird.
Like McVay owns Carroll.
And doesn't Shanahan own McVay?
I think Shanahan owns McVay. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no, like, usually their division rivalries, you beat each other up. Usually you split that. It's not that. It's like,
no, it's weird.
You're dominating one team and not in the other. They're all about the same with their conference records, but it's weird how they get there. It's weird.
Right.
So I'll cheer for you here. I like it a lot better at 7.5 than I did when I started the week, that extra point. So go Seattle. All right. I got 2 plays left here.
All right.
And I think these are like both small plays. So you're going to be laughing and probably cheering for me here. I'm not that sold on Philly yet. Philly just seems a little off. I think they have the people to get there, but they're not. It's just something kind of like the Chiefs a little bit right now. The record's fine. You're doing fine, but you're coming off a loss. And I'm not so sure it's not going to be 2 in a row. The Dolphins can score points, man. And again, the Dolphins are kind of like a Lions play for me right now, too, to where if I see you playing somebody and you're getting points, I'm going to take you. I just think that I'm going to end up on the right side more often than not with that. So anytime I see the Dolphins getting points this year, I think I'm going to take them. So I'm going to take the Dolphins on the road plus 2.5. Now, here's the reason I like Miami, though, too, is if they can play on time and get the ball out, that's when Tua's good. Where the Eagles can wreck you, this is how they win the game. They can blow them out if they do, is if that pass rush, and they have dudes up front that can get home. The problem is their secondary, I don't know who's going to be playing for them. They could have both corners out again. They're so banged up on the back end. And if that front end's not getting home like they're not getting home like they were last year at this point. Now, look, they have the guys that can change overnight. But if Philly can't get home up front when Miami can run the ball and play on time, that offense is – I mean, it's the L.A. Rams of 2000. It's the greatest show on turf. They're so fast.
Yeah, so. I echo everything you said. So this just, if I had to add one more, this would be the game. Say the only thing that scares me is what you talked about is really it's the Eagles coming off that bad loss, right? It's prime. They're in a prime bounce back spot on prime time. But I tell you what, you and I both agree here, but McDaniels is playing chess and everyone else is playing checkers, man.
He's a Broncos ball boy. Boy. Yeah, it's so awesome seeing him coaching Miami and Shanahan and San Francisco. I love it. Just love
that guy. That guy's awesome. And you're exactly right there. Oh, he's so. But the guys love him. The guys love him.
You have to. He seems cool.
Yeah. So. But I think too the biggest thing here is what you said, that secondary. If Philly's not getting that pass rush, Tyreek Hill is going to go absolutely nuts again against backups.
Well, and it's not just Hill. You got,
Waddle,
and look, this is Claypool's not that good, but how is he as a third option running around in that? You might see a little bit of him this week.
I think we'll probably add this game on our card.
You're going to add this game to your card?
I think we'll probably play it in Circa. I kind of like.
Circa?
I like it. I think it's a good. I'm with you. I just think
this is why I thought you would like it, because it has all your reasons on it. But come off the loss is bad and primetime. I'm going to do it again with the Monday night game.
Oh boy,
49ers are coming off a horrible loss, an absolutely horrible loss.
Yeah.
And the Vikings seem lost and terrible. They don't have their best player. But I'm going to take the Vikings as 7-point dogs at home on Monday night.
I don't
know who's going to play for the Niners yet. I think there's going to be a lot of game time decisions there. And Kirk Cousins is horrible in primetime game. There's no reason to play the Vikings here. There's just I have a feeling the public's going to be hammering them. I think it opened at 6 and it's already at 7. I don't think they're going to lose the game, but I think it's going to be another look, the Niners looked invincible until last week. They were just pounding the crap out of everybody. For Brock's sake, I hope he does play well. And if they end up hammering these guys, getting away from it, it probably means Brock played well, so I can live with that on the loss. But I don't know. There's just something that feels – this is my biggest just like gut-wrenching, gut-feeling thing that the Vikings are going to show up on Monday night and score a bunch of points against them. I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing that truthfully keeps me off this side is just how abysmal they looked without Jefferson last week. Yeah, that's the only – it's truthfully the only reason. So I understand. I think you're right. I mean, the betting public will be on the Niners. They do have injuries, right? I mean, typically speaking, I feel like everyone gets injured at Minnesota anyway on that turf. Hence why I think they're taking the field out.
Well, and that's the thing with the Niners too. You got all these guys that got banged up, and the injury history there. God, I listened to a show that's literally talking about that today or yesterday. So it's funny you bring that up. That you don't know who they're gonna play this week because they don't want to play on that field. And these guys are already kind of banged up. Why don't you just give them a bye?
Right.
So,
all right.
I don't know. I just think it could be weird. It could be a plug your nose down 13 with the ball and a minute 40 to go. Give me that gross back.
Yeah, the Kirk special.
He's great in those moments. He's great at being down 21, and all of a sudden he's the best quarterback in the league.
Fact, 100%.
He's come back and won some of those too, and he starts letting it rip.
Yes.
So
yeah, you're right.
But again, he doesn't have Justin Jefferson he's throwing the ball to. Be a big dose of Addison and Osborne in that game. But,
right.
That's it for me. I got 6 plays.
Okay, that's all I got.
I think you also had 6 plays, so I'll run through them here quick. Thanks for talking me out of Denver. They've been awful to me this year. Thanks for talking me out of that. Yeah. Losing them back to Jordan's good enough. Give me the better draft pick.
There you go.
All right, I got 6 plays here with Atlanta plus 2.5, the Lions plus 3, the Rams -3, the Chargers plus 6, the Dolphins plus 2 in the hook, and the Vikings plus 7. I have 6 plays for Smool also. Atlanta plus 2.5, the Rams -3, the Chargers plus 6, the Giants plus 3, Green Bay -1, and Seattle -7.5. Look, bounce back week. I'm looking forward to it. Sounds like we probably got 4 plays locked in for Circa already with the Falcons, Rams, Chargers, and Dolphins. We'll have to find one more in there somewhere. I think we kind of agreed on some of that stuff, so it shouldn't be too hard with that. Got anything else to add here?
No, I can't. I just think, gosh, I got to submit that tonight.
Oh, yeah, it is Friday. It's weird
Friday. That's right.
Happy birthday again to Nick Farah and his lock with Nebraska -10.5. We're going to be joining on that. Good luck with your left-handed putter.
Right.
I was laughing.
That's hilarious. That's a great gift. That's so funny.
Man, that's so funny. He pounds the ball. That dude cannot putt.
Right.
Well, that's all we got for this week. Hopefully we got some winners for you. As always, I'm Ted, and he's Justin. Cash that ticket.